with Kennedy. Obviously, a great win there. What did you kind of make of the match?
Yeah, gritty win, physical. I mean, look, I think Southside, they're a quality team and they play a particular way. They're a blue collar, hard working group, and I think they did a really good job for a good part of the game of making things really difficult for us. And certainly credit to them for that, but probably also credit to our group for being able to make the adjustments and deal with that level of physicality and tilt it in our direction and find ways to continue to score. But look, defensively, they did a great job in Izzy, particularly in the first half, so credit to them.
I think that match was the first time you've beat Southside at their home since about February 2022. What is it about playing Southside in Melbourne that makes them such a difficult opponent?
Well, it's the sauna for starters. Sweating like crazy. It was hot as hell in there. Jokes aside, look, they're tough. They're just a tough group. They've got a very, very good team. Look, and it's probably, history obviously doesn't necessarily have anything to do with today's game in particular. It's obviously a different side and different group, So, look, maybe our game plans haven't been where they needed to be in previous games at the State Basketball Centre, but certainly happy to get the win, particularly after the back end of playing, obviously Friday. I'm really proud of our group for being able to lock in and dig deep and show up when it really mattered, especially when they were down 11 points in the third.
Just on those being down 11 points in the third, what was your kind of message to the girls to get them to rally the way they did?
Yeah, you're testing me now. Look, I think for us was just more so locking into our defensive coverages. We gave two wide open threes in a row to their bigs, and we just weren't quite attached on a lot of the actions they were running on the floor. So, once we tidied up the coverages in those situations defensively, we were pretty good for the majority of the game. It was obviously very low scoring in the first half. But again, for us, it was just about locking the defense. When we get stops, get out and run, and certainly go to specific actions ourselves. I think our groups did a really good job, particularly Meg and Izzy obviously got going in the second half too. So, that was probably, we spoke about a lot of those things in that time out, and the group took care of the rest as they normally do.
Obviously, I think now you're equal with wins on Townsville in the ladder. I know it might be a little bit early to ask this question, but are you looking at that top three and really hoping that you can cement yourself and the side in that part of the ladder?
Look, to be honest, right now we're just taking it game by game. I know that sounds really cliche, but we're just trying to find ways to improve every day and every week, and again, we play every game on its merits. So for us, certainly that's the, we've been very process focused, and so we'll continue to do that. Right now, that's given us great results. So yeah, we certainly probably won't veer away from that. There'll be a time certainly start thinking about those things. Traditionally in the league, 12 wins would have you secured in finals. Last year, if you're I think the fourth place finished with 9. But yeah, there's a lot of season. We're literally a tick over halfway now. So too much basketball to probably start thinking about that.
Megan, obviously, it was another really great game for you today. Where do you think it kind of went right for you?
I kind of just try to read what the defense is giving me. And, a lot of attention's going to go to Izzy just because of how well she can get to the rim. And so I think just putting her in ball screens just really opens up a lot of us. But I think I just kind of just try and read what the defense gives me, and I'm going to do whatever my teammates need me to do to win.
Obviously, it was a 2-day turnaround, and I'm pretty sure you guys have dealt with a couple of them this season. How was this one a little bit different to some of the previous ones you've had?
Yeah, I think just, we faced some adversity in this game, and it really showed, what kind of team that we can be in the long run, and I'm really proud of us. We were down late in the second half, so I think it just showed our grit and determination of what kind of team we can be come March.
And just final question from me. Obviously, that first half really became a grind. I think you guys scored about 29 points in those first 2 quarters. How did you kind of navigate past that and find those shots and get the advantage that you did?
I mean, yes, you're going to have games where, like, the ball's not going in the hoop for us or, you know, things just aren't going our way and we're not getting calls, but we just got to get it on the defensive end, and I think we really did that, and we had to dig deep. We had some defensive slip-ups, but I think overall we did what we needed to do on the defensive end, and that's how we came out with the win tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Kennedy, much you said that players win games, the coach wins players. What do you think is your most important quality that keeps helping them win?
I like that because the quote I normally hear is players win games and coaches lose games. So that's that. Thank you. I like that. I'll steal it one day. I mean, look, for me, my why and why I coach is obviously what I center everything around what I do and the decisions I make as a coach. Certainly at times I'll challenge our group, but for me everything's about how do I help people and players become the best versions of themselves, and so that's everything that's centered around my coaching. I've always wanted to help people, and so that motivation never changes. And sometimes I do, if I get caught up in more outcomes, I have to think about that as a coach as to why, and then building the relationship. You know, for me, I don't get it right every time as a coach, but certainly I would hope that, you know, if perhaps I was in America during our winter and I bumped into Meg, you know, she might say hi to me because, you know, that we might stay in contact and be able to have those conversations because, you know, we had a great experience together, and so those things are important for me. But finding their motivation and why they're doing it and trying to help them, you know, find them succeed in their ambitions and goals in life and in sport. And then the last one is, for me, is just trying to create life as, you know, as the experience that we create in this program going to potentially push them towards coaching. And right now, if you ask any of our players, I think we've got some players that would be exceptional coaches in our group, but you ask them, they're like, yeah, no way. But maybe that will change in time. But maybe I'm not being a good enough role model to perhaps encourage them to be coaches. But you know, I'm going to keep trying at that. But I mean, luckily, we've got a group of players that could continue to play for years on end still.
Megan, you've been doing so well, and I saw you talking to McKenna before the game started. Do you think for type of group sharing experience, what's easy to them, what challenges you guys facing, or no?
No, McKenna's actually from my hometown, so I think it's just really cool to see, you know, we're both playing in the same league in Australia, so I think just seeing a familiar face is really nice.
All good?
Sweet, thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
team.
Thank you.